Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steffy will advise that there'll be no Ridge attention for Brooke in Naples. Taylor will also confess commodity during a discussion with Steffy, so some precariousness may start to show. At Eric Mance, Steffy will complain about Brooke going on this Forrester Italy trip. Taylor will point out that Eric most surely supports the idea. Steffy wouldn't be pleased over Ridge going on with this, but Taylor will argue that it's a good business decision. Brooke gets a lot of attention overseas, so Taylor will act like it makes sense for her to tag along. Steffy will contend there's one person who wouldn't be giving Brooke attention, and that's Ridge. Still, Steffy will prognosticate that she'll be wrong about that, if Brooke thinks Ridge is going to canonize on her. Taylor will appreciate Steffy's sweats to assure her, but she'll point out that they're not necessary. Steffy will admit that Taylor must be frustrated since she just got engaged and now Brooke is flying off to Naples with Ridge. Taylor will feel a bit hurt as she talks about Eric being excited over Brooke's trip edition. Despite how important Taylor loves and respects Eric, she'll confess that she knows he'd much rather see Ridge reunite with Brooke. That'll be hard for Taylor since she's been pouring a lot of time and energy into this Ridge reunion. Taylor wants Ridge's commitment to last this time around, so she may wish Eric would lay off the matchmaking. Taylor has been trying to shove down any precariousness and tell herself that she can trust Ridge. Taylor wants to believe Ridge wouldn't break her heart again, but could she still be upset deep down? There are indeed good reasons to worry since Ridge and Brooke will be pulled together through a forthcoming Italy twist. Ridge will reject the last chance Brooke is offering. That means Brooke will move full speed ahead on enjoying herself in Naples with Nick, at least for now. Nick and Ridge have a heated battle, so Brooke will no doubt be their source of hostility. Daphne will make her way back, where she'll catch Carter off guard with her return. We can go. Daphne's going to make some swells in Carter and Hope love. Daphne's presence alone could come Hope's problem, but there could also be some secrets that beget trouble. Still, that could clearly lead to issues. If Daphne slept with Carter and got pregnant before he reunited with Hope, Daphne's return will stun Carter while Ridge gives a final answer to Brooke, at least for now. Carter will get a shock when Daphne suddenly shows back over in city. Daphne preliminarily rejected Steffy's idea of coming back to Los Angeles, but she'll change her mind and throw Carter for a circle. Carter is engaged to Hope and looking forward to their coming wedded chapter together, but will the sight of Daphne stir up old passions? It'll clearly produce some awkwardness and leave Carter floundering with what to say to Daphne. Daphne may still be adhering to stopgap that she could have a future with Carter rather. We can't rule out the possibility that Daphne and Carter have commodity to hide. There's a chance that Carter let passion erupt with Daphne off screen right before he reunited with Hope. Still, perhaps there's another reason why Daphne's been so reticent to face Carter, if that's the case. A gestation secret would surely shake up this plot. Brooke and Ridge, since she just gave him one final chance to come back to her. Still, also Brooke could move on with Nick and spend this Italy trip by his side, if Ridge doesn't surrender to their love. This is Ridge's last occasion to choose Brooke and leave Taylor before, but he wouldn't take advantage of it. Ridge will dig his heels in when it comes to the commitment he made to Taylor, so Brooke will accept that she has to let go. We all know this wouldn't really be Ridge's final chance to pick Brooke. Ridge will still end up pursuing Brooke. Formerly, all the drama in Naples and Capri gets underway, so observers just have to be patient. Ridge and Nick have a fierce sweepstakes coming up. It's clear that Ridge is rather jealous when it comes to Brooke, and he especially loathes the study of her making Nick the new man in her life. Luna burial was formally done and handled according to Lee. Lee arrived and wound up relating with Sheila as the only two people who sounded to watch about Luna's demise. Sheila and Lee didn't believe Luna was a monster, but Deacon still held a grudge over her horrible crimes. Lee put the blame on Poppy for all her neglect and allowed Luna should have been given the help she demanded beforehand on. Sheila ultimately asked if there was going to be a service for Luna, so Lee replied that it was formally done and had been handled. Lee sounded like she was hiding commodity as Sheila wished she could have said farewell to Luna. Luna's still alive, so suckers will want to stay tuned for that stunner in the coming occurrences. Eric and a promotional videotape he showed Brooke and Ridge. Since it played up Italy and once Forrester designs, Brooke conceded that it stirred up both good recollections and sad bones. Italy wouldn't be the same this time around since Ridge was with Taylor and not Brooke. When Brooke brought up the possibility of Nick joining them in Naples, Ridge baffled and said he wasn't invited on their business trip. Eric ultimately possessed Ridge alone to advise that he could lose Brooke to Nick if he didn't reunite with his true love. Once Nick met up with Brooke in the design office, he turned on the charm and gushed over everything he wanted to show her in Naples. Nick stroked Brooke's arm as he seductively described erecting a boat and said he wanted to take her out on the water. Brooke replied Ridge and refocused out that she might have a better time on this Italy trip if Nick were there. Ridge moved on with Taylor. Brooke didn't see why she shouldn't do the same with Nick. Ridge acted like he'd no problem with Brooke moving on, he just didn't suppose Nick was the man for her. Brooke ultimately brought up the misreading that led them then since Ridge felt betrayed over her taking the CEO spot. Brooke was willing to forgive everything that happened with Taylor if Ridge would just come back to her. This was Ridge's last chance or additional. Brooke suggested she'd be taking Nick to Italy. Ridge, Brooke and Nick have some love triangle drama ahead in Naples. We are wondering what's coming for Poppy now that Luna is gone. Will Poppy get a new man or maybe deal with further medicine drama? Poppy had enough harsh response to the news that Luna didn't survive her rearmost injuries. Since Poppy claimed she was glad to be relieved of Luna, Lee was shocked with her family. Poppy softened kindly and showed a bit more emotion in her discussion with Finn latterly. Poppy has some complex passions when it comes to Luna's grim fate. Since Poppy must be feeling enough lonely these days, that could open the door to some fresh story openings. Poppy might get a new man to lean on as she tries to find a path forward. They'd have Poppy reconnect with Finn or have her form a surprising bond with Cleric that'd rile Sheila up. It'd also be intriguing to watch Poppy fall for Carter since his relationship with Hope will presumably end in heartache. Poppy doesn't inescapably have to head into romantic home to have a plot. We could also imagine Poppy popping further medicine mints and twisting out of control because of them. Poppy might uncover some hints that point to Lee's deception sooner or laterly. There are suggestions to suggest Lee faked Luna's death and has been intimately minding for her off-screen. Will Poppy follow the trail and figure out what Lee's caching? Will Poppy end up mealy over Lee's fatal facade and argue that Luna belongs behind bars? Poppy doesn't have important going on these days and could use commodity new to do. Reset Poppy and make some shocking updates to her life. Lee's Luna's secret will make swell sooner or laterly, so Poppy should at least be involved in that story down the road. Brooke giving Ridge one last chance to make effects right while Ridge and Nick push each other's buttons. Carter gets a surprise when Daphne Rose returns. Brooke, Taylor, and Ridge managed to find common ground and put their differences away to support Liam. Of course, Brooke still believes that Ridge is her fortune, and she doesn't believe what he and Taylor have will last. Still, Brooke and Ridge won't reunite this time if Nick has anything to say about it. He thinks it's time that Brooke eventually moves on from her on-again out-again love with his family. These two sisters don't see eye to eye, but it's kindly. Surprising that Ridge isn't jumping on this occasion to encourage Brooke to move on since he's been so adamant that he's with Taylor now. Carter and Hope are happily engaged. Steffy tried to intrude with their relationship by asking Daphne to come to LA and betray Carter while she also made incense for Forrester Creations. Daphne's ruse didn't work. She left LA, and Carter ended up proposing to Hope, and she said yes. Of course, effects braked slightly when Liam fought for his life, but Carter remained incredibly probative of Hope throughout her ex-husband's fire.